Welcome everyone, and welcome to round 4 of the Alwyn 2022 Mazda MX5 Cup, coming to you live from the Autodrom in the Czech Republic. This is quite a new track to some. Myself, I only know this track from sim racing. I actually didn't even realize that there are World Superbike races here, so quite a lot of different motorsports do attend this track. It's been around a while. When I think of the Czech Republic, I only think of Brno, but this is probably the best track apart from Brno in the Czech Republic at the moment. It seems to be very popular amongst all kinds of motorsports. So we're going to just do a quick build up here. Just to let you know, I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell. I'm joined tonight by Jason Underwood, and we also have a guest commentator of Rian van der Westhuizen. Rian, would you like to say good evening?
Yeah, good evening everybody. If I can't race it, I'll come and join it in the commentary and see if I can crack it there. At least it won't come last year.
Yes, you've got some stiff competition for coming last year.
And yeah, course, we'll jolt it out.
And of course we have Jason, so good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Rian. It's good to be back. Looking forward to tonight's action. And yes, good to have Rian on board for tonight. Speedy recovery. And let's do this. Looking forward.
Okay, just a quick build up in, because the server has ticked over a lot quicker than I was expecting it would. So we'll go live in a moment. But just so everyone knows, we are at round 4, Autodrom Most. The next round will be Watkins, Glen, then will be followed by Okayama, then Lime Rock, then Misano. And just a little bit of quick history on the track, because it's a new track for all, or most. It was opened in 1983. It's in the city of Most. It's hosted World Superbike, truck racing, touring cars, World Touring Cars, the ADAC GT Masters GT3 Series, NASCAR Euro Series, and more. It also is used for training fire engine drivers, ambulance drivers, and police drivers. The overall lap record is a 1:22.981 by Bernd Handhofer. Hopefully I pronounced that alright. That was set in an Arrows Formula 1 car, so it is an old retired Formula 1 car. The Supersport lap record is held by fellow South African Stephen Wodendahl. Of course, the cars we'll be racing tonight is the amazing Mazda MX5 Cup car, which is a 2016 model, 160 brake horsepower, 200 Newton meters of torque, dry weight of 908 kilograms, power to weight ratio of 5.6 kilograms per horsepower. It's a rear-wheel drive drivetrain. It uses slick tires and it has a manual 6-speed gearbox. Just a quick look at our championship before we go live, the last thing. So currently Basil van Rijn leading the championship on 292, from Donnie van Rooyen on 262, Jean de Toy on 253, then Sean Olivier, James Leach Jr., James Crook, Yandre Duppenaar, Morne de Toy, Hilton Nicholson, Andre Besson, Dylan Fasaki, Adib, Tian Murray, Andre Hildebrandt, and Brandon Robert. That's our top 15. And we're now going to jump live just so that we can catch up, because qualifying has actually gone live. So let us just change over there and get everything up and running. Right, so we are now officially live. Currently on board with Basil van Rijn as he's heading out on his first lap. There's 12.5 minutes left, so this will probably be the first flying lap as he comes across the line. So I'd actually specifically tried to get the stream running a little bit earlier tonight so that we could do a bit of a build up before the event, because usually the server takes a while between practice and qualifying to tick over, but tonight, of course, because I'm wanting to talk a bit longer, it decided to be quick. So that caught me out a little bit there. I'm not too familiar with the names of the track yet. I did Google it, but my memory is not good enough, so I am going to actually Google it again as we are live. I did do some driving in the track, and pretty much most of the corners are flat out in this car. It's really nice, fast and flowing, so you definitely need to keep up your apex speed. This corner here is, I think I take it in 4th gear. Let's see what I can drum up. There's actually not that much information regarding this track at the moment. I think it's a pretty much unused track until fairly recently. It is a FIA Grade 2 circuit, so not everything can run here. As we see Hilton coming across the line there. Sorry, what was that, Rian?
I see we don't have all our teams also tonight, yeah? There's some of the teams that haven't joined the race tonight.
Yes, it seems like there's a lot of guys that don't make all the races, unfortunately, with other commitments these days. So they join whenever they're free, but unfortunately that means we miss out on the extra competition. Of course, now that I'm trying to do this live, I can't find the circuit names anyway. Right, I'll abandon that. Basically, where James Crook is at the moment, I take this in fourth gear. It's pretty much fourth gear. Take nice wide sweeping lines. Flat out through this part. The very first part of it, you just ease off slightly, scrub off a bit of speed, and then it's flat out all the way up here. You get up to fifth gear, and at the very last braking marker, you drop it down one gear into fourth, and straight away turn and accelerate. And then you just keep it flat out in fourth all the way here. Final corner. Keep the car as straight as you can. Carry as much momentum over the finish line. And then you'll head into the first turn, which is the tightest corner on the circuit, which I take. It's a chicane right-left. The right part I would take in third gear. The left part I would take in second gear. You can take the second part in third gear, but you lose a bit of momentum, so I would take it in second gear. And then pretty much every other corner is either fourth gear or third gear. I think pretty much all fourth. So nice fast flowing circuits. It's all about getting your lines correct. If you don't get your lines quite right, you scrub off a lot of speed. So we see Monet du Toit coming across the line now. Currently 6th place. Will he improve? He does, but he doesn't increase his position. He's still in 6th place, but he's now 1.3 behind where he was 1.8 behind. So half a second faster on that lap. Here we see Donnie van Rooyen. Will Donnie van Rooyen improve from 2nd position? Currently 1/10 behind him. Does. He goes pole position. 0.88 ahead of Basil van Rooyen. Now I know the times in practice the guys were getting into the 49s. Both Donnie and Basil had got into the 49s, so I'm sure they will get there again. So 8 minutes left to go. We have Donnie van Rooyen in pole position on a 150.518. Basil van Rooyen in 2nd. James Crook in 3rd. Jean-Andre du Toit in 4th. Sean Olivier in 5th. Monet du Toit in 6th. Hadib Gemild. I'm not too sure how to pronounce his surname, so sorry if I'm butchering that. James Lee Jr. in 8th. Andre Duppenau in 9th. Bjorn Buchner in 10th. Andre Hildebrandt. Good to have Andre back. Andre Hildebrandt in 11th. And Hilton Nickerson in 12th place at the moment. On board with Thierry Murray, who is currently just taken over 12th place. James Leach Jr. now jumps up to 4th place. And he's straight away beaten by Jean-Andre du Toit. So the top 4 covered by 0.3 of a second currently.
It'll be interesting to see tonight if Jean-Andre Duppenau and Hadib can carry on their battle from last week. They had a very good battle for 80 to 90% of the race, swapping and changing positions almost every second corner. And I know Jean-Andre spoke to me in the week and he said he really enjoyed it. So let's hope we can see some more action like that this evening.
Yes, they seem to be split by 0.2 of a second at the moment, so it looks like they're going to be battling again, but it looks like they have one driver between them at the moment. but the times between the drivers in front of them and behind them is pretty close, so they might be fighting in a nice battle of probably 4 or 5 cars throughout the race this time. One of our newer drivers, Ibrahim, coming across the line there in 13th place. This will be his first event with us, so welcome Ibrahim. Brandon Roberts in 16th place. It seems like a fair amount of the drivers have been having mechanical problems with computers and all sorts of things. Andre Hildebrandt was one of them, but thankfully he's managed to at least get his computer sorted out and he's at least in the race, and we still have a fairly decent turnaround tonight, so that's quite good to see.
I think they're all excited that Formula One's coming back home. That's why they're all trying to get their racing adrenaline out.
Yes. In the background I saw Andre Hildebrandt spinning into the pit wall there. Looked like he got his exit just a little bit too wrong, maybe touched a bit of the grass and it just got into an uncontrollable slide. So Adib now jumps up to 8th place, demoting Andre Hildebrandt. Morne du Toit is 7th. Will he improve? And he does. Once again takes another half a second off. So the times are getting faster and faster. The drivers all improving at about the same pace. See Basil van Rijn pushing right to the edge of the track. That's a wonderful corner the way he pushed right over there. Now we're on board with Brandon Roberts. Into the final corner. You need to stay off that sausage curb on the inside. That sleeping policeman, if you touch it, the car will get sideways and you lose a bit of momentum. You definitely don't want to lose momentum down this straight.
I see he also underestimated his gearing for going to the last corner a bit.
Yes.
So that would have cost him a second or two as well.
Yeah, you can lose a lot of lap time in that first corner being so tight. On board now with Basil van Rijn as he goes top on a 149.943. So the first driver in qualifying to hit the official 149 mark. So can Donnie van Rooyen hit back at him? Can James Crook catch them? It looks like it's a two-way fight at the moment at the front. Just under 2 tenths between Basil and Donnie. James Crook currently in third, but 7 tenths shy of the rest.
The midfield battle tonight is going to be quite something to watch. There's not much separating from Sean all the way down to 10th place. Only a second, covered by 6 places. So that could be quite interesting to watch, I think.
Yes, and if you look at 10th place until 13th place, they're all within just over a tenth. And that's the battle for the 10th place, which is the pole position place for race 2. So that should be an interesting battle. James Crook just losing it there, getting too much on the grass. We're going to have to be careful of that in the race. That's the problem with these fast sweeping corners. You loading up the outside tire so much, and if you just lose a fraction of grip by touching the grass, that happens. James Leach Jr. getting a bit of a slide into the pretty tight flowing corner there. That's the, not sure what happened there, a bit of a glitch. His tires seem to vanish. I'm just going to check the YouTube channel as well and say good evening to everyone that's here. There's no comments yet, but good evening to all our viewers. I will check the comments as often as I can, but at the moment there's nothing there. Everyone's just watching silently, waiting for the action to unfold. Right, going down the long straight here. Now on board with Bjorn Buchner. Throwing the car right now into the left corner. Being sure to keep it to the left hand side so that you hit the third of the three S's. You don't want it to go wide. This is now Brandon Roberts shortly behind him. Keep it to the left so that you can get to the right flat out. If you don't do that, then you're going to drift wide. Under a minute left of qualifying. Basil van Rijn is currently still in pole position from Dani van Rooyen, James Crook, Jean-Andre de Toy, James Leeds Jr., Sean Olivier, Monet de Toy, Adib Gemild, Andre Hildebrandt, Hilton Nixon. Bjorn Buchner now jumps up into 10th place from Hilton Nixon, Sarah Boshoff, Yandre Dippenaar, Tian Murray, and Brandon Roberts just pops ahead of Tian Murray. So it looks like some pretty competitive lap times tonight. I think the guys are going to have lots of nice battles tonight. Tian Murray coming down across the main straight now. Will he improve? Currently in 16th place. Well, it's showing 15th on the left, shows 16th on the other time, but we'll see as he crosses the line.
No. 16.
It's funny because on the timing on the left it says 15th. The computer's not too sure. I think it's because Ibrahim had disconnected. He's just reconnected, so that's maybe why. Alright, as the drivers now are into overtime, they get to finish this lap. On board now with Bjorn going through the S's. Fantastic part of the track. That part of the track kind of reminds me of Brno as well, so I'm not sure if it's a Czech Republic thing with the fast flowing corners, but also very nice and flowing. Alright, second last corner. Need to go wide, but not too wide. If you go two wheels over the rumble strips, it does invalidate your lap time. So another 3 drivers to cross the line apart from Bjorn. Brandon Robert coming across the line now. Will he improve? He does not. 2 left to go. Let's see, who is it? It is Sean Olivier.
Basil van Rijn is just even quicker.
Okay, so it's just Sean Olivier. Can Sean improve? No, he's pitted. Well, alright then, I guess it's time to go to an ad break, so we will be back with you shortly. Welcome back everyone to round 4 of our 8-round championship, coming to you live from Autodrom Moss. This is race 1 of our two race round, 2 20-minute races. Second race it is a reverse grid, or top 10 reverse grid. First race it's based on qualifying. I of course am your commentator Dennis Mitchell, and joined by Jason Underwood and tonight by Rian van der Westhuizen. So wait for the guys to get going. And we're away. Let's get the information up. So Donny van Rooyen slotting in behind Basil van Rijn. We will have a nice clean first corner, no incidents.
I see James Leash fell to the back of the grid, went off on the grass.
I wonder if he perhaps had a hardware issue, maybe steering wheel or something not working. I think he had a problem at one of the other rounds with his hardware, whether it was pedals or steering wheel. Might have been the last round. So possibly a problem again. Right, Sean Olivier, 5th place. Adib now in 7th place, so it looks like he's made up a place at the start. I think he was 8th, so the drivers I think all have made up a place because of James Leach's demise. James is still in the race. It's showing he's in 15th, so I'm guessing he sorted out the issue, whatever it was. Perhaps his wheel was just turned to the side. You know, sometimes the guys have the wheel rotated an extra rotation and he didn't realize it maybe.
Went straight to the grass on the left hand side and waited for everybody to come past before he actually turned on track.
Yes, that's what I say. Maybe it was rotated too much to the left and he thought it was center, but it was actually pointing left, and when he accelerated it just went left, and then maybe he decided just to wait until everyone was gone. As you see Tion getting a bit sideways and going over the grass there. So Basil van Rijn 1.3 ahead of Donny van Rooyen. At the moment those are our championship leaders. Donny needs to start beating Basil if he wants to fight for the championship. Jean-Louis du Toit currently in 3rd from James Crook and Sean Olivier. It looks like Basil van Rijn is starting to clear out.
The 2 PZ and panel beater boys having a go. Come to T1.
Yes. Looks like a little bit of contact there between Sean Olivier and Jean-Louis du Toit. And a bit of contact there as well. Oh dear. That looked like a little bit of Assetto Corsa physics. The sand on this track is incredibly grippy. It's very difficult to get out of it. Oh, Sean Olivier getting completely sideways there. I think he managed to stop it going completely around, but that's going to lose him quite a lot of time. As we see, he's now being passed by 2 other drivers, so now down to 7th place. So Bjorn Buchner having a good race, currently in 6th place.
This is 8th position.
Brandon Robert currently in 11th place now. I'm pretty sure he qualified at the back, so he's done well to progress forward as well. Currently in 10th place, so slowly going forward. Oh, a bit of contact there. Andre Hildebrand getting sideways. Managing to recover. Losing a lot of places though. Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact there that just got the car sliding. So lap time's coming in fast at the moment, but Basil van Rijn with a 2.5 second lead over Donny van Rooyen at the moment. I was expecting that Donny would at least give a fight, but it looks like Donny's taking a bit of time to get his car completely up to temperature. See Brandon Robert chasing down Sarel Boshoff at the moment. are currently in 8th place and Brandon currently in 9th place.
The PZN boys also having a good chase between each other.
Yes, what's that? 3rd, 4th, 5th.
But yeah.
As we see now, 4th James Crook chasing down Zolder de Tour in 3rd. And of course, PZN currently leading the race as well. Fantastic S's here as we go under the Merito Bridge.
All these sweeping corners can't be very gentle on the tires. So let's hope that the drivers keep that in mind coming into the last couple of laps.
Yeah, these cars do, I believe, have traction control. It's a toss-up whether it's faster or slower to use it. I think in most instances it's faster to use traction control off. But the problem is that once the car starts to wear the tires, it then starts to get a lot more loose. But they do then have the option to at least turn it on, but I think with the tires worn it's going to struggle a bit, and I think these cars will put a bit of wear on the tires on this track. I think the left rear is probably going to take a bit of a beating here. Lots of two cars going side by side.
I see that Sean North's got a good ties there with the PZN boys, and he just passed him on there.
Yeah, I believe that was with Mone du Toy.
Yeah. So.
Yonder Dupino not far behind either, so he's not having a bad race. Didn't have the qualifying he would have liked, but he's doing alright in the race. He's hanging in there with them. As we see the two James Crook and Zolder de Tour. Extremely close, 3/10 between them. Now Andre Hildebrandt's 3/10 between himself and Bjorn Buchner. So Bjorn has gone backwards. He was further up in the race a few moments ago, so I'm not sure what happened to him. James Crook looking up the inside of Zolder de Tour into turn 1. And looks like he's got it. Nice and clean. Making it look easy. Andre getting
One
a bit
thing
sideways there.
Dennis, that's just one thing that Hamilton and Rosberg put in blinds. Back in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the days of them fighting, that was entertaining. So Adib not having the race that he did last week. Doesn't seem to have the pace tonight, I'm not sure why.
I see the two teammates, Bjorn Buchner and Andre Hildebrandt, is pushing one another and trying to speed the race up for them, getting away here from the rest.
Yes. There's a few drivers that I'm surprised that are struggling for pace, that in the previous season when we ran this last year, were a lot quicker in the pack. And one of those is Tian Murray. Seeing him fighting in the lower half of the field definitely isn't where he was last year. Andre getting sideways and almost again at the same spot he had that moment before. Doesn't seem to like that corner.
Yeah, the previous time he got a bit of a push from the back. And now he's got James Leach on his back. So
Yeah. James Leach is just over 2/10 behind him, almost under 2/10. Looks like he's going to get a bit of drive down the straight here. James is going for the inside. As we see Tian and Brandon Roberts also having a bit of a swap there. I believe James Leach will get past as well.
he
And he does.
takes a nice tight line and go through.
Yes, nice and clean. Ooh,
Oh!
Andre loses it on the curb. I'm not sure why Andre is so loose tonight. It could be because he's repaired his computer. Maybe something's not set up quite right. You don't usually see Andre losing the car like that. Deeb and Hilton having a really nice battle as James closes in on them.
Yeah, I think between those two that's fighting for the position, they don't recognize James coming through on them.
Yeah, he just flew past around the outside of Hilton there.
James should have the momentum on them, but keep an eye on your mirrors, but there's somebody coming from behind.
Yeah, the speed that he passed Hilton there, I think it would have caught Hilton by surprise. I mean, he just made it look easy going around the outside, taking the longer route.
Yeah.
Jean-Andre Dutoit is still looking at the back end of James Crook.
The gap is a bit more there now then. Here comes our other close race with James and
James looking up the inside again, I imagine, to turn one. Will he make it on the brakes? Doesn't look like he's going to. The PZN drivers definitely having a good round tonight, as we see Deeb and James side by side through the S's. James managing to get past now. I think once again just carrying more momentum.
yeah, I think he just had a better line going in and out.
So the PZN guys are sticking together here for third and fourth.
There, James and them are coming together a bit.
As we see them now, there's a 5/10 gap between the two of them. Rudy van der Veste is in the YouTube channel saying Team Redline. Evening Rudy, shouting out for Team Redline. So Basil van Rijn currently with a 4.7 second lap at the moment. Almost said lap. Time over Donny van Rooyen, then Jean-Andre Dutoit. This is fantastic battle for the third place at the moment. There's a fantastic battle for 12th place at the moment. There seems to be a fantastic battle for 7th place at the moment as well, which has just opened up slightly to a gap or battle for 8th place between Jean-Andre Dupenau and Brandon Roberts. Then Tian Murray and I forget who it is in Ibrahim in 11th place, also having quite a nice battle there. So the gaps are starting to open up slightly, but still one or two nice battles happening as we see.
Just on 6 minutes remaining of this race.
Yes, 6 minutes remaining, then we head off to race 2 reverse grid with the top 10. So the drivers in the top 10 at the moment. Tian Murray will be in provisional pole position from Brandon Roberts.
Will make it quite interesting.
Brandon Roberts having a good race tonight. Good to see he's enjoying himself. Of course, race 2 he'll be on front row at this pace, so if he stays there he'll definitely be second row, or front row, second position. Right, a deep coming through the S's, chasing down Hilton. Pretty close between the two of them, 7/10ths. Basil van Range just leaving everyone in the dust so far. That sort of seems to be his motto for this series. Just get in front and just say goodbye to everyone.
That's why he's got too fast for you at the back of his cars.
Yes.
He's
The
just
problem
too
is
fast.
he's too fast. The drivers can't read it. He's too far ahead.
Like, you need to be close to him to read it anyway. Yeah.
Put that on there for him.
Yes, yeah, Rian did put that on the back of the car for him, yeah.
It's all your fault, Rian.
Well, you know, if you ask for it, you get it, huh? He could be glad he didn't get a wheelchair on the back of his car.
James Leach having a look at Ibrahim here. Going sideways. Losing a bit of momentum around the outside there. That corner was a bit too tight now. Hilton and Adib having a attempt at the same. Deep's car looking a little bit beaten up. His driver's door looked like it had a bit of a ding in it. James and Ibrahim going at it again. And James is passed. James carrying good speed in this race at the moment, working his way forward nicely. He's in 11th place. He just needs one more place and he'll be in pole position for the next round. The next race that is, but he's got 3 minutes to go. I don't think he can bridge that gap. That's 3 seconds he's going to need to catch. Depending on how much faster he is, I don't see that happening. It's 3 minutes plus 2 laps, so it is possible, but not likely. We'll keep an eye on that gap though. Brandon Robert and Yondre Duppen are having a great race here. Brandon having a look at the outside now of Yondre. Yondre taking the nice defensive line. Just putting the car nicely in the middle of the track. So James Leach is indeed catching fast enough, so he will catch up to Tian Murray before the end of the race. Going by current pace, he is now a second and a half behind. He caught up around about a second on the last lap, if I'm correct.
I think there must have been an incident between Jimmy Latour and James Crook. The gap now is over 2 seconds. I did see them swap places. I'm not sure what's happened there.
Oh, you mean Tian Murray and... Well, Tian Murray is in 10th place, and he was in 10th, so it couldn't have been him.
Yeah, James Crook and Zolder.
Oh, sorry, the two of them, alright.
Yeah.
The two that have been glued together for so long.
Yeah.
I guess the glue broke. The top three all doing 50 point something, 50.1 to 50.1 to 50.8, and in 5th place of 50.8. So lap times extremely close between 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Minute left to go. James Leach is catching, but it looks like Tian's pace has increased a little bit again. Only caught a look by maybe 3/10 in the last lap.
Dion and James Leach Jr. 24/10 difference. Going on to the last couple laps now.
Alright, we'll watch that gap for 10th place.
He's right up him.
Yeah, he caught up a lot there. Last couple of corners he made up almost 8/10, I think. Oh, Hilton and Adib. Nice side by side, nice pass there by Hilton there. Doing what James Leach did to them earlier, just carrying the momentum around the outside.
Maybe they took some lessons while driving.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice clean side by side driving.
We've got to switch back for the momentum down the main straight.
I believe it's actually Bjorn Buchner, my apologies. Right, so the drivers are on their final lap at the moment, so Basil van Rijn currently 6.7 seconds ahead of Donny van Rooyen. Jean de Toy in 3rd place, James Crook in 4th, Sean Olivier in 5th, René de Toy in 6th, Laura Boshoff in 7th, Andre Duppenau in 8th, Brandon Roberts currently 9th, Tian is still in 10th, but will he be in 10th at the end of the race? James Leach is trying. He wants that pole position. So we see the leader coming across now. Final corner. Basil van Rijn making it look easy once again.
James Leach has got into 10th.
He has indeed. He's got past, and Tian Murray is now. In fact, he's got past Brandon Roberts as well. Donny van Rooyen coming across the line in 2nd now.
Great drive there by James Leach Jr.
Indeed. Jean de Toy 3rd, James Crook in 4th, Sean Olivier in 5th, René de Toy 6th. And we'll have Sorrel Boshoff coming across the line in 7th place behind Monet. Then Yandre Duppenau. Then a fantastic 9th place for James Leach. That was a great result. Brandon Robert will be 10th place pole position for race 2. So Tien Rea, the big loser there. 11th place means he starts in 11th place in race 2. Ibrahim in 12th, Adib in 13th, Bjorn in 14th, Hilton in 15th, and in 16th, Andre Hildebrandt. So that was a great race. Alright, we're going to leave it there. We're going to jump to an ad break and we'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back everyone. For some reason it's showing I'm on the grid, sorry about this. Saying some weird things there. It said that the server's gone. I got a bit panicked there, but we are here. Welcome back. We are here for race 2 of round 4 from Autodrom Most. 20-minute race to reverse grid for the top 10 from race 1. So starting in pole position we have Brandon Roberts, I believe. Alright, let's get rid of this as the drivers are about to head off. And we're away. James Leach Jr. in second place. So what a fantastic result that was in race 1 to get himself right in front for race 2. Contact, and he's just lost out. I spoke too soon.
He won't be happy with that one.
No, the red mist is going to come down now. Yes. Brandon Roberts thankfully having a nice clean start. Sarah Boshoff now up into second place from Sean Olivier. James Crook now in 4th. Basil van Rijn already up to 5th. Sean Olivier going around the outside. Oh, contact there. Oh,
and again.
And again. Drivers managing to survive, but that was quite a few places lost there by Sorrel. Going from 2nd/3rd down to 11th place.
There, Andre's getting up the hill again.
Yes, and in front of him it was... Who was that? Ibrahim, yeah. So drivers seem to having a bit of a problem with rear traction loss. Maybe just getting a little bit too much on the grass at some points. So Basil up the inside now of Brandon. Oh sorry, that was at the inside of James Crook. Sean Olivier right behind James Crook at the moment. So Sean is in the hunt tonight. He wants the podium.
He's sitting in that slipstream ready to bounce there.
Sean going around the outside. Don't think that will work in this turn. James is wise to the move. Jonathan Rowan just watching from behind. Jonathan Rowan's going to be careful. He's got Jean-Louis de Toy right behind him. Sorry Jason, did you want to say something?
Yes. Coming into that first corner, those tight S's, if you're too defensive in the first right-hander, it compromises you quite a lot going into the second part. And the guy behind can get a good drive out of that corner, and then you can overtake going down the next little straight.
I see James Crook has just dropped down to 13th place. I saw cars scattering a bit, so I'm not sure if there was contact or if he just lost it.
Contact between the PZ10 cars.
Oh dear. So Donnie Doran currently 3rd place. Now 2nd place. Oh dear, Robert has just lost it there. Brandon Robert just losing the rear end of the car.
I think there's going to be a few reports to the stewards.
Looks like there might be, yes. So Brandon Robert currently 8th place from an amazing 2nd place. Thierry Marais, who lost out on that pole position, has already worked his way up to 6th place, so having a good race nonetheless. Hilton as well, also having a good race. Top 10 position at the moment in 9th place. James Leach Jr. in 10th place. But keep an eye on James. I'm sure he'll be coming back through the field. Let's see how far through the field he can get. I'm sure he won't be very happy at the moment. Yeah.
Also, his Zolder was back up to 11th after that first lap incident.
Yes. Yeah, Basil van Rijn is still in the lead now. Sean Olivier is second. Jean de Toy in third, and Donnie van Rooyen has dropped down to fourth. So I'm not sure what happened to Donnie, but he just dropped 2 places there. And Thierry Marais has now dropped, and Monet de Toy has got past him. Dieb and Yondre having a good dice again. Two of them, of course, had that fantastic battle before. Let's see if it can last the rest of this race. Tion in his unmistakable green and black skin. This car definitely does stand out. James Leach Jr. Not having the luck tonight, but he certainly has the pace. Some of the drivers really having a lot of bad luck tonight with contact. Thierry Marais back up to 6th place, taking the place back from Monet de Toy now. Then we see the Ibrahim Andre battle going on there. In fact, it was the Adib in front of Andre there. So Donnie van Rooyen now stuck behind Jean de Toy. He's run wide there. I think he got his braking mark all wrong there. Seems to have thrown Donnie off. I don't think Donnie was expecting that. He just had to take advantage of it. That is, of course, the problem with these fast flowing circuits. If you get it slightly wrong, you lose a lot of time. James Crook around the outside there. Hilton's snug behind him at the moment, with James Leach coming right behind him now. James Leach fighting for 9th place at the moment. Slightly caught out by Hilton's braking there and having to take avoiding action. Tian looking like he's taking avoiding action as well, going onto the grass there. So Andre heading Adib. Tian and I believe Ibrahim. Nice 4-way battle there. So Basil van Rijn with a 4-second lead at the moment from Sean Olivier and Donnie van Rooyen. So in 4th place we have Jean de Toy. And in 5th place we have Bjorn Buchner. So Bjorn having a good race, then he got knocked back, and with all the incidents happening, he's back up to 5th. He was actually in 6th place and then went down due to incidents, but he's actually got higher than he was before his incident. So well done there to Bjorn. Brandon Robert also worked his way back up. He's in 7th place at the moment. James Crook right behind him, then James Leach Jr. Quick check on the YouTube channel, and Franco Eunice, good evening, and also shouting out for Redline Racing.
few nice close battles in the midfield. Everybody's got at least, it seems to there's a nice race and a dice between most of the guys.
Yeah, definitely a track making for some good close racing.
Gives the guys some opportunities to chase.
Remember everyone, if you're enjoying what you're watching, remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified for further race events. Currently our race events are Wednesday night Assetto Corsa and Sunday night R-Factor. Possibly this weekend we might have a special event of some sort. Ooh, nice four-way battle still raging here. See someone's hand in the way there. Marshall standing in front of the cameraman. So Hilton having a good race tonight. Also didn't have much luck at the previous round, but seems to be having a decent round tonight. One of our drivers that does stream his driver's point of view, so you can always head over to his channel if you'd like to see his point of view. Looks like Andre's finally pulled away from them, so it's now no longer a four-way battle, it's now a three-way battle. Andre's decided he wants none of it. Looks like Hilton lost a little bit of momentum, then he might end up being passed by Tian Murray also, and he does indeed.
Yeah, Sean Olivier is also coming under a bit of pressure now.
Yes, Donny van Rooyen right behind him now. Let's see how their lap times compare. A 150.9 for Sean Olivier and a 50.0 for Donny. So Donny 9/10 faster on that lap. Eight and a half minutes left to go. Let's see if Donny can get past, and I don't think he can catch Basil van Rooyen, but let's see how his lap times compare if he does get past Sean Olivier and take it from there. Donny nice and snug behind Sean Olivier at the moment, just going to have to wait his moment, to be patient. Wait for the right opportunity before he pounces. See Brandon Robert there getting a nice drift into the corner. And Donny has indeed got past Sean Olivier now. Now Bjorn Buchner on the back of Hilton. So Hilton is, after I've been praising him for having a good round, seems to have gone backwards by a few places. James Leach Jr. up to 7th place. Now Andre Hildebrandt up to 8th. Looks like James Crook made a mistake because he's dropped all the way down now at 13th place. Possibly himself and Adib had a bit of a coming together because Adib managed to drop a position as well. Bjorn Buchner now dropping down. So Tian and Adib having a nice battle here at the moment. 4/10 between them, just under 4/10. Side by side, Sean Olivier up the inside here of Jean-Andre de Toy. Makes the move stick. I'm not sure if Jean-Andre had come back at him down the straight there, but Sean was behind Donny earlier, and obviously Jean-Andre has taken advantage of their battle.
We must commend Basil tonight. I mean, he's been in a class of his own.
I think he's been in a class of his own this entire series. There have been the odd little occasion where the guys look like they can challenge, but Basil's definitely stepped up his game. He wants this title for sure. sweeping lines through the countryside. Nice scenic looking track as well as a fantastic track to drive. Although that's not the greatest view.
And we'll have a tight race here with the PZN team.
No, Sean Olivier is having a good race here with Jean-Louis Dutoit, two of them battling hard. So Sean worked his way up to second and now he's fighting to stay in third. Having to defend for all it's worth. It's like Jean is a bit quicker though.
Sean is a very defensive driver.
Yes, he can make his car very wide.
I sat behind him a few times before and had some close races, but it's not easy to pass the man.
Right, coming down through the S's. And Jean-Andre mounts an attack on Sean.
Just not close enough.
See as he heads up the hill if he can get there. As we now change to Bjorn Buchner. Still behind Hilton. So currently we have Basil van Rijn still in first place from Dani van Rooyen, Sean Olivier, Jean-Louis Dutoit, Monet Dutoit, Brandon Roberts, James Leach Jr., Andre Hildebrandt, Adib Gemild, James Crook, Jan-Andre Duppenaar, Tian Marais, Hilton Nixon, Bjorn Buchner, Sarah Boshoff, and Ibrahim Gurdi.
Donny van Rooyen took 3 seconds out of Basil van Rijn on that previous lap.
Basil's time was a 52.3 by the looks of things, so I'm not sure what happened there.
I think he just sit back and relax a bit now. Cooling the tires down.
Well, maybe he lost a bit of concentration, maybe passing a back mark even.
Or maybe took a sip of a drink for
Yes.
cleaning the throat, you know?
Or maybe he went off to go turn the kettle on. Looks like we have James Leach Jr. in the pit. I'm not sure why he's in the pit. Driving through the pit at the moment, coming through pit lane, and there he comes out the other end. He's been kicked from the race, I'm not sure what that's for. So the server is saying something has happened with him. I presume he got a penalty of some sort and hadn't served it, and as a result the server has kicked him.
More than 3 times, so
It might be for contact. The server is said to be a lot more harsh now on contact. So you get a drive-through penalty if you have too much contact at too high a speed, so perhaps he was involved in too many collisions.
it's actually in a free space. He was not close to anybody before that.
That's a real shame though. He was having quite a good comeback after his incidents at the start. James Leach, another one that's just not quite had the luck this season. Right,
Yeah, Deeps had a much better race this season.
yes
This
indeed.
was the second race anyway, up to 7th place.
Yeah, considering he was with Jan-Andre Duppenaar early on, and Jan-Andre is only in 10th place at the moment, so Deep's definitely gone forward nicely. Right, Brandon Roberts heading onto the main straight. 1 minute to go before they head into their final 2 laps. Heading up the inside, yeah. That was up the inside of a Deeb, and he made it stick. It's happened off camera, unfortunately. Camera is focusing on the Jan-Andre Duppenaar battle with Tian Marais. Jan-Andre now around the outside. Might have enough momentum, but Tian's managed to keep his momentum up, so they're side by side. I'll now go down into the S's.
Bjorn just lurking behind them. One little mistake.
Ooh, a bit of contact there between Tian and Yandre. Now Bjorn currently in 11th place at the moment. Right, so the leader has crossed the line. It's this lap and one more lap to go. See lots of cars sliding and drifting. I guess the tires are starting to wear now. Also noticed that some of the drivers have their headlights on. I'm not sure if they're hoping to intimidate some of the other drivers. At least they're not flashing them yet.
It just looks if they brake early.
Yeah.
The taillights on as well.
Yes. Nice on board here. James Crook currently in 9th place as he's chasing down Nadeeb. And I'll be starting their final lap. Let's see, is he going to go for a move on Nadeeb? James Crook, of course, coming back through the field after that incident, does indeed make the move on Nadeeb. Bjorn Buchner now looking for a move on Tian here into turn 1. James Crook has now also got past Brandon Robert. So
Did I see Andre Hildebrand in pit as well?
it's
like
not showing that he's in the pit on the timings. Not yet anyway. It's Ibrahim that's in the pits at the moment. That's showing he's in the pits. So let's see, is he serving a drive-through penalty? On the final lap. And it's disconnected him from the serve as well, so it looks like he's also been kicked. Although that looked like it was a disconnect, so maybe he wasn't kicked, maybe he just chose to leave. Right, as we see Basil doing a nice pirouette across the line. Donny van Rooyen in second, Sean Olivier also trying a pirouette across the line. Or a donut. Mune du Toit coming across the line behind Jean-Louis du Toit. Andre Hildebrand's in a solid 6th place after all his commotions with the car spinning and sliding and heading off. Getting some solid points tonight. James Crook managing to work his way up to 7th place in the end. Nadeeb right behind him. And then Brandon Robert in 9th place, also managing to recover from that opening incident. Tian Murray stealing 10th place in the end from Bjorn Buchner. Bjorn finishing just ahead of Hilton, so Hilton stealing, losing out to 11th place from Bjorn. Then Sarl Boshoff in 13, Yandre Dippenaar. Unfortunately, only 14th place after that incident that he suffered. Alright, I am going to head off to an ad break now. When we come back, we can hopefully talk to the top 3 drivers. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are back for the interview. So that is the end of round 4, race 1 and race 2 from Autodrom Most completed. As we will now, for the next round, head off to Watkins Glen, I believe. But before we do that, let's head to our interviews. We have our top 3 drivers with us tonight. Of course, taking the overall win is Basil van Rijn. In second place overall was Dani van Rooyen, and in third place overall, Jean de Toy. So let's start with Basil. Not much to say, Basil, other than deja vu.
Dennis, I'm in love with this track. It actually it suits my driving style, and it's an awesome track. My first time on the track, practicing from Monday or Sunday. But I must say, it's all in all for this league, or I mean for this type of car, it's a very awesome track.
Yes, I was also not too familiar with this track, and I heard about it and I thought, okay, well, let's try it. I know Brno in Czech Republic is a nice, fast-flowing track, and it's one of my favorite tracks. This track, I'd never really driven on it either, but it reminds me a lot of Brno. There's certain aspects of it that are very similar to it, but also very fast and flowing, all about keeping up your apex speeds, and you definitely seem to keep up your apex speeds pretty good.
Yeah, the main thing is, just keep it flowing, but if you make one small mistake, the guy in front pull, I think, almost 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a faster car in front of you, you just slightly go off the track, then,
We did see in the races quite a lot of incidents where the guys would just dip a little bit of a wheel on the grass and then they would lose control, get into a slide, or go off.
Yeah, one small mistake, then you're gone. And because the track is so long straight and the corners are quite long, if you make one mistake, you're gone.
All right, then let's head off to Dani. Dani, another great result, but unfortunately not a win yet, so you're going to have to keep fighting for some more wins.
I only had one so far.
Yes, so you need to fight a bit harder, but in practice you definitely had the pace, but in the race things just didn't quite go your way. But it looked like, you were saying as well at the end you did your fastest time, so maybe your tires just weren't getting up to temperature. You maybe need to be a bit more aggressive with them at the start or something.
Yeah, I think I must just get a little bit more aggressive, but controlled, because I don't know what I do wrong, but I'm doing something wrong, because Basil is just gelling with his car now. He's one with the car, and I'm not there yet.
Yeah, certainly last season you were very quick in the car, and you definitely were one of the front runners at pretty much from the start to the finish of a race, whereas this season you seem to be slow at the start and then you slowly sort of get faster and faster as the race goes, but by then the gap is just too big.
Exactly. I don't know. I'll just have to put in more laps.
Yeah, maybe just try something a little different, scrub the tires a bit differently or something, or maybe, I think these, if I remember correctly, these cars do have traction control as an option. I presume you're driving with it off, so maybe try it on at first and then try it off or something. But
I'm going to play around with it, definitely.
All right, and then off to third place, Jean de Toy. Jean, great to have you again in third place, becoming a regular on the podium as well. So the PZN guys definitely doing a good job, and you seem to have a nice fight throughout the race with your teammate. So how did your race go?
The first race I liked a lot. Yeah, me and James had quite a good battle. But when I passed him, my pace was just a bit better on each lap, so I could pull away from him at the end. The second race went a bit. Well, that was a bit hard. I saw people taking out each other and bumping, and so that was a bit hard to get in front. But yeah, no, all went well. Yeah,
second race usually is a bit of commotion because I guess with the reverse grid. But that's why this season we're only reversing the top 10 to try and avoid that and still make it a good race for the guys. But it looked like quite a lot of commotion going on when the guys would go side by side. Sometimes they would push the guy slightly too wide. The guy would get on the grass, he would slide and then come back because of the slide and into the car that he was side by side on. So lots of those kinds of incidents as well. All right, so let's head to Rian. Rian, would you like to ask the drivers any questions?
Yeah, guys, nice race. I see there was some bumper bashing and pushing and shoving. And you must remember, there's always a chance to put your ingredients on and let them
Yes, yeah. Don't forget to let the stewards know about what the problem is. And
Well,
then,
we want to have a clean race, but we also want to have a fair race. So if you feel that you've been done in, always welcome to put a complaint and let me have a look at it.
yes. And then, Jason, any questions from your side?
Yeah, I just want to know from the top three what it looked like coming from behind with all the commotions in the front. What was your strategy when you saw people being making errors, especially on the actual start itself? Was your strategy just to hang back slightly and let them all make mistakes, or were you guys just, I need to get to the front as quickly as possible? I don't know if we can start with Basil.
It was my plan to stay back a bit, but this track is so nice and wide and everything so open. So yeah, man, on this track you can really just go for it. I mean, I think I had 2 laps before I was in front. Yeah, this track is so open. You can do the moves when you need to.
And Donnie, anything from your side regarding the start procedures?
I think, like Baz says, the track is wide, so you just have to observe what the guys are doing. And if they go a bit wide, you must just hold back and see which way they're going to slide and then just take the gap.
And Genre, anything from your side regarding your start tactics?
I personally don't like to overtake someone in a corner because I'm afraid to bump them off the track and ruin the entire race. So I usually just wait for them to either make a mistake or get a good exit on a turn to overtake them on a straight.
All right. Then perhaps let's head back to Basil. Basil, if you want to give any shout-outs from your side?
Yes, Dennis, to some experience. Thank you for the league and also all the sponsors involved. And then, yeah, I mean, from my side, just a heads up to everyone. And I think the guys must join the practices more. I think if we practice together and everyone in a group, everything will go a bit better. But yeah, all in all, thanks to Rian and Jason also joining the commentating and to my team Redline. Yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you and a pleasure. And Donnie, any shout-outs from your side?
I just want to say again, thanks for everything you've done. It's quite a nice league. Thanks for all the effort you guys put in.
Pleasure. Thank you, Donnie. And then Genre, anything from your side?
Thanks to the commentators and you guys for hosting and setting this league up, and yeah, thanks to my team. The start of this race was I think it took me 8 laps to put on my first time. So Basil especially helped with the lines and stuff. So yeah, no, thanks to him.
When you say 8 laps, were you then getting your laps taken away because you were going off the track?
Yep.
Yeah, I did a couple of laps just to get familiar with the track as well, and also had the same problem, especially through some of the S's. You just, and the second last corner as well, just run slightly wide there, invalidate the lap.
Yeah, no, it's rough.
But all right, thank you guys. I'm going to move you guys out for now so that we can say our goodbyes and catch you guys all next week for the next round. So that's the end of round 4. We'll now be heading into round 5 from Watkins Glen. So before we head over to Watkins Glen, perhaps Rian and Jason, the two of you could give us, you guys have both driven there, I'm sure, a number of times, give us your opinion of the track. I find Watkins Glen to be an absolutely fantastic track in all layouts.
Yeah, Watkins Glen is very nice. You have to take a bit of patience for the bus stop, but going through the chicane, but yeah, don't go too wide. And the rest you can chase.
And Jason, have you driven much of Watkins Glen? I know we did do it a little bit in R-Factor, I think, with one or two of the cars. I can't remember which cars.
Yeah, I think we just did a practice race with those, with the NASCAR, I think it was.
Right.
But it was only 2 or 3 laps, so I'm not too familiar with it, but the little bit that I did drive around it, it's also another track where you got to keep, especially in the small powered engine, you got to keep your momentum up, get those exits nice and smooth, not too much wheel spin, and will create for some good racing once again. So looking forward to it. Yeah, let's hope that someone can try and challenge Basil up front. But we all know Basil's extremely quick, so it will take some good effort. But I'm sure we will get that soon.
Yeah, at the moment it's looking like his only real challenger is Darnie, certainly going by the points as well in the championship. So coming into this round, Darnie was the closest challenger, and leaving this round, Darnie is the closest challenger, but the points has increased between them. So I think when Darnie figures out how to get his pace at the front of the race rather than only at the end of the race, I think Darnie will then challenge. So the rounds where he's had the luck and been able to make the most of the starts, he's been able to compete. But when it's on pure pace, Basil seems to pull away because Basil seems to, from the first lap, just hit maximum pace, whereas Darnie takes several laps to get going, and then everything starts to happen. By the end, he's flying. So he just needs to figure out what's causing that, and when he does, I think he will be challenging.
Yeah, no, definitely. Or we make the race 2 hours long. So
Yes.
by the end of it, it becomes a quick one. But
A bit of endurance racing.
And then the other thing that
Yeah.
we saw tonight, we saw a penalty, or in fact 2 penalties taking place during the second race. 2 of the drivers getting drive-through penalties, and unfortunately when they served them, the server decided to kick them, so I'm not sure what had happened there. But the server is now set to be a bit more harsh with track limits. So basically if the drivers go off track too much, or they have contact with other drivers too much, it gives them a drive-through penalty now. So that at least did work. It penalised the drivers, but unfortunately the penalties seem to be an issue. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Let's start with Jason.
Well, I'm a firm believer. Rubbing is racing, but there comes a point where too much rubbing gets a bit much, and that's where obviously the servers picked it up where some drivers have obviously had too much contact, or if running over the boundaries of the racetrack, trying to push too hard, maybe just to try and get an extra tenth or two, where at the end of the day it's maybe cost them 10-15 seconds, or even getting disqualified. So I think the drivers have got to be maybe a little bit more calculated. The race isn't won in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the lovely saying, in order to finish first you must finish. So yeah, going forward, I think they could get a little more calculated in the moves that they do, but also it boils down to practice time and track time. Like Basil said, he's been practicing since Sunday last week, or Sunday, should I say? And it shows that. I mean, he finished 6 seconds ahead in the first race and 4.5 in the second race. So practice makes perfect.
Yes. And then Rian, your take on the penalty system?
Yeah, like Jason said, rubbing is racing, bumping is not. But I think we'll have to have a discussion with the guys that got kicked from the server to find out exactly what happened, and also have a look at the footage of the race with their guys out of their perspective. See how the penalties affected them. Now, they can say something, but we can see something different, and then decide what is the cause of the penalty, or what was the outcome of the penalty.
The one thing, the way the penalty is working as well, is that you set the minimum speed. So basically, if the speed difference between the cars is too high, in other words, the one car is impacting the other car at an extreme heavy impact, then it registers as an impact. If it's just a slight rub, like you say, rubbing is racing, and I agree, a little bit of rubbing is racing, but bumping also isn't. So you shouldn't be barging your way through the field. A little bit of pushing is fine. So if it's registering that they are bumping, then they definitely are hitting each other quite hard.
Yeah, you see, in the other sense as well, the guys that's driving in VR can judge the guy next to him much better. by looking and seeing the guy. Guy's in a 3 screens or a flat screen. Can't judge the guy next to him, so he doesn't really know, except if he looks on his radar or something where the guy is next to him. So I think that's also got a big impact on. You'll see less guys with VRs having somebody next to him bumped or something, than the guy that's in a flat screen.
Yeah, true. We did see
Well,
an incident
what else?
with Tian Marais with, I forget who it was, I think it was Yandre Dupinot who was next to him, and he turned in and it looked like he just didn't know that Yandre was there.
Oh, that seems like it. And although John Ray is in VR, I don't think John Ray had a chance to just way out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, what we must also remember is I don't think any of the drivers are going to intentionally knock someone off or bump someone. I don't think it's. Well, I know we don't stand for it in the league, and I'm sure there's 17 or 16 drivers on the track tonight have that in mind. So, like Rion says, there's a big difference between VR single screen and triple screens, where for your field of view, that could play a part as well. But honestly, I wouldn't think that the drivers would intentionally bump someone to gain an advantage. That's just from my point of view, anyway.
I don't think the whole league is quite clean, and all the drivers are thinking of the other guys next to them. And, they talk a lot in this team speak as well. So, I don't think it's on purpose that they are bashing and one another.
Yeah, it's unfortunately just the nature of the game. There will be contact at some point.
And you must also remember that the Zeta Corsa physics makes it much worse than it really is. If you take a small bump in the Zeta Corsa full set, it makes a huge difference in your handling of your car.
Yeah.
A normal bumper, rashing, bashing might not even affect your car that much in real life or in the formats. But a Zeta Corsa, if you just slight bump will offset your car totally.
Yeah, exactly. All right, then. I think that's a good note to end on. So we're going to say good night and good evening to all that have watched tonight. Thank you for watching. And thank you to Alwyn for sponsoring and making all this possible, and to all our drivers for attending and making it entertaining and making it possible. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And of course, thank you to yourself, Jason and Rian, for joining me tonight. Hopefully we'll have another exciting race on Sunday night that Jason will be attending in. And Rian, if you're available then, you could possibly come join as well.
Yeah, I will most probably still be Sunday in part of the commentary box, but next week, most definitely I'll maybe be in the car. Not as fast as I would like to be, but getting used to the car after more than a month out of the seat will take some time to adjust again.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can't wait.